There we go. Thank you guys. Thanks for reminding me to record. Right, so let's make some moves. So, introduction is training psychology. Like people have said, like Jason has said, like I will say till I'm blue in the face. Tr so the psychology around trading is 90% of the battle. Like there is so many strategies out there when it comes to trading. So many like different ways to trade, different people to learn off of, whatever. It doesn't matter, to be honest. So many strategies work. It's all it's 90% what's going on in your head and what you're actually, how you're controlling your emotions, how you're learning to deal with what's on the chart, how you stick to a trading plan. It's all mindset, and I'm sure a lot of you are finding this out. Because like one thing that we have going for us with these groups is being able to get people involved and get people to have a go at trading. And I think that's fantastic. I feel like everyone should have a go at trading. I feel like it's one of those things that so many people are making money online nowadays. Like literally so many people. Like it completely changed my life. Like I'm moving myself and my family to Spain at the end of this year, and that would not be possible without learning to do this. It's 6 or 7 years ago when I actually started becoming profitable. If you could mute guys, that'd be cool. So yeah, it's an incredible skill to learn, and yeah, it does have the potential to really really change your life. But you have to take it seriously. Like people will come into it thinking. I mean, I know people's expectations when they come into trading is they're not really sure what it is. People think they're going to get scammed. They think everything and anything. They don't really even know. Like I have people say to me like, do I give you money to invest? Do you trade my money? And I'm like, no, it's as simple as you set up. We show you how to trade and you copy the trades. Like it's that simple to do. So, but then once people are in, like it's just people don't realize quite how people think when they start that it's going to be easy. It's not easy. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not like you sort of start realizing very quickly that you've actually got to put some work in, and you've actually got to sort these things that you've got to sort these things out, and you've actually got to put some time and effort into these. Like the amount of people I've coached so many different people, and everyone is different. Some people will take to it much better than others. Other people, they take work. I took work. I took a hell of a lot of work to get actually start becoming successful. And I really did see myself once upon a time as a very materialistic person. Like before I had kids, like money was sort of everything to me. I wanted to be rich. I wanted to have it all. And every time I traded, I didn't do very well because I was greedy. I was so greedy, and it was unnecessary greed. Like I'm not I'm not rich now. I'm not wealthy. I make money from the markets, which pays our bills and allows us to put money in savings, and and allows for that life. I don't think trading has it allows me to be able to buy things for my kids. It allows me to put money away to start thinking about moving to Spain. We're thinking about like we're doing it. And doing all these things. Like it doesn't have it like that. This comes into the expectations thing a bit in a minute. Um, so where should we I haven't done one of these in a while, so I just need to get back into the flow of it. um, so let's just have a look at this. So when I talk about trading, one of the most important things you can have is a trading plan. You have to have a trading plan. Within trading, our worlds are I mean, the trading world and the charts, the markets, the forex world, commodities, everything, it is lawless. And what I mean by that is anybody can open an account, anybody can fund an account, anybody could just I could teach someone how to put a trade on within 15 minutes. Not even that. And nobody is telling you normally, like if you think about without this, what's on the screen right now, it's completely lawless. You could put on a trade, you could take a trade off. You can put a stop loss, you can choose not to put a stop loss. You can put a take profit, you can choose not to put a take profit. This right here is your trading plan. Okay? This is only one of the groups, this is gold standard, but this right here is the trading plan. So this is done for you. I used to teach people on an education basis, and we used to teach multiple different strategies, and we used to have to get people to to develop their own trading strategies over time and their own trading plan. And it was so hard for me to actually get people to write down a trading plan. And when I say a trading plan, I'm talking about where they're entering, what's allowing them to enter, where their take profits are, where their stop loss is going to be. And it's going to be the same thing over and over again. Whereas we don't need to worry about that anymore because this is here. This is your trading plan. You are given the trades. Okay. So realistically, there's a huge part of trading here that is just over to one side and it's done for you. So this is the trading plan. Like, I don't mean to be mean, but there's probably no one on this call that is a professional trader, you know, who can actually mark up charts, you know, find entries and things like that, like, you know, actually have their own trading plan that they work to. You know, most people on here are going to be new and fresh to this. This is the trading plan. This is, for example, on this trade, this is your trading range. Here are your take profits. Here is your stop loss. These are non-negotiables. These are your rules. These are the rules. And trading should be just rinse and repeat over and over again. And amongst the couple of groups that we have, there's plenty of trades. You know, if we're talking about the gold standard, what we like with like 3 to 8 trades a day, you know, less is more in a lot of ways. You know, they're decent, high probability trades that give you the whole trading plan. They tell you where to enter. You don't even have to think about it. So all that stuff is done. Don't worry about that. Worry about everything that's going on up here. For example, like trading isn't a strategy. It's, you know, one strategy can work completely different for 2 different people. There was a very famous trader, I can't remember what his name was now, it was Richard, something like that. But he went publicly said once, he could put his trading strategy on the front of the what's it called? Washington Post or New York Times, and people still wouldn't be able to make money. Why? Because of the psychology. You know? And that's what makes everyone different within this. You know, this is what it's the difference between making it and not making it. Making money and not making money. It's just about what is going on in your head. So yeah, 2 different people could be following the same strategy, but, you know, get completely different results. One may be profitable, one may not, because of what they're doing in their head, because of what's going on upstairs. So, you know, one piece of advice is concentrate on yourself, because realistically, you're the one putting the trades on. You're the one that's closing them. You don't need to worry about other people's results. Like, literally, do not worry about other people's results. I'm just going to close that for a second. So yeah, don't worry about what other people are doing. Concentrate on what you're doing. Like, you wouldn't believe the work I had to put into myself to be able to learn to trade for myself and be able to actually develop my own trading plan. And what comes with that is a mindset plan. I knew what I needed to do, and I made those things happen. And nothing happens overnight. It's just small. It's just little and often, trying and trying and trying. What was your biggest light bulb moment for you in your Forex trading? Biggest light bulb moment. Biggest light bulb moment. Well, there was many, but like, it doesn't mean I do have a bit of a cough as well. So I am sorry if I keep coughing. There's been a lot, but they never still happen overnight. So yes, you can have these moments of like, oh God, that's what I need to be doing. It doesn't mean you're going to stop making that mistake from that day on. You know, you're going to, like, you still need to work on it. People have these, like, I hate the words in trading. Oh, I've cracked it. I think I've cracked trading. Oh, I can't wait till I crack it. You know, you never crack it. You just be able to manage it. You know, I still have to keep my foot on the pedal. Jason will say the same. You have to keep your foot on the gas. Like, you can't just let off. You can't have a day off from not thinking about it. I'm just lucky now that, I'm not lucky because I've put the work in. I'm just now at a stage where I don't have to think about it so much, and I've become numb to it. So losses, wins, both of them, I'm numb to. Like, we can be dealing with thousands of pounds and it has no effect on me. Whereas I know people that are much more new to it, seeing these kind of numbers can really, really mess with your head. And you have to keep a lock on it. The sort of money that's utterly crazy. Like, you could be making people turning down two, three, £400 in a trade more. When realistically, that's two or three times what they earn in a day, and they're not closing those trades. Why? Because of greed, because of FOMO, fear of missing out, because they think it can go further. They think they can get more. They're not happy with £400. They want £800. That's not what the strategy says. The strategy says take profit here, take profit here, take profit here, take profit here, done. That's it. We wait for the next trade. That's it. Hey, Dylan. So I had a new phone. I'm not showing my name. Thing I notice a lot, and I've done it myself, is not taking a stop loss or moving a stop loss. What do you think that could help people with this? So stop losses are your be all and end all. They are the most important tool in trading. If you do not trade with a stop loss, don't fucking trade. That's all. That's what I'll say about a stop loss. It's utter. Think about this. I was going to bring this up in a bit, but think about this. Think about trading as running a business. Okay, like there's going to be business owners in here. I was in construction for 22 years. I ran my own business for 6 years. And would I ever risk everything that is in my business account on one decision, one job, for the potential of losing it all? Because that's what the market will do. It will take everything and it won't care. It won't care that you're angry. It won't care that you're upset. It will just take it. Stop losses they protect everything. Like they literally, they are what protect your account. I get it. I was there once upon a time of moving stop losses and things like that and creeping away. Oh, it's got to go back up at some point. I think this week trading gold has proved that it doesn't have to go up at some point. It can do what the fuck it wants. And it will pull your pants down and it will keep pulling your pants down and it will pull the next pair of pants down after that. It does not care. And so what do we do now to protect ourselves? We use stop losses. Two aims in trading. And the most important one, well, the two are protect your capital and make profit. Protect your capital over making profit any day. Protect what is in your account. You start doing that properly, you will start seeing steady income. Like this is not a get rich quick scheme. Okay. I've even joked about it being a get rich slow scheme because that describes it so much better. Like it blows my mind. I mean, I 100% know there's going to be a ton of people in here that trade without stop losses, and you're doing it wrong. Believe me, I don't. Put it this way: there's never ever been a successful trader that trades without stop loss. The only way you can make that happen and get some sort of profit is if you use basically bully tactics. So you would need huge sizes of accounts to be able to then put up with the drawdown. Like, I don't even want to talk about that because it's still utterly ridiculous. Where everyone is at right now, they need to be protecting their accounts. If you've got a £400 account, if you've got a £4,000 account, these are numbers that the market will take from you if you do not use a stop loss. And when I say do not use it as well, I mean, even having a stop loss and not fucking moving it. Like, again, if I went back to that slide, that trade shows your trading plan. That is it. The point of a stop loss is it should be at the place where the trade now becomes invalid. Okay? So we understand what invalid means, right? So as soon as now, like I can understand that maybe if you wanted to add 10 pips to a stop loss or something straight from the get-go, make that your new trading plan just to like give you a bit of breathing room on spreads. You might want to lower your lot size slightly just to lower your risk. That's fine. You can do that. But if you do that consistently, that's fine. But realistically, that number, that is where that stop loss is, that is where the trade is now invalid. So if you're sitting there thinking, oh, I'm hoping it's going to come back up or I'm hoping it's going to go back down, it's irrelevant. Like all you're doing is letting the market make an absolute mug of you. Realistically, the market is there to try and take your money. We are there to take money from it. And this is the great thing. Like I'm very much of the opinion with gold, scalping is the only real technique to trading gold. Believe me, I've been there with it. It used to be that it still is kind of like the cool thing to be like, I'm a gold trader. I trade gold and, trying to go for these huge long positions and stuff. It's not consistent enough. It's just not. Scalping gold is an incredible strategy. And this, the groups that we have, the areas that we give, the zones that we give are just high probability areas. Because all we're doing is working on a game of probability all the time. So just being able to sort of dip in, take money, get out. You're going to make more money the longer you're out of the market. To be able to get in, get out, done. Get in, get out, done. You can be hitting stop losses. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like losing is part of it. I'm going to get to it again in a bit anyway, but yeah, it is part of it. What helped me massively was the convo we had about looking at your. Oh, hang on a minute, Jason. What was your biggest mistake or lesson? Oh, fuck me. There's been so many. This is the thing. Like, obviously, me and Jason come from very much a heavy education background. And there's been so many lessons. I made stupid mechanical, like what something I call mechanical errors. This is where you're putting in a one lot size or a five lot size or whatever by accident, and then these are mechanical errors, or you're writing in a stop loss wrong, or you're writing in a take profit wrong. These I call mechanical errors. These are simple fixes. These just take a little bit of time to just have a think about what you're doing. Take a couple of seconds. Don't rush. Blah blah blah. These are just mechanical things. This is not your psychology. So, I had plenty of those, but lo and behold, they don't happen anymore. Like my trading is second to none, like for like not making stupid mistakes like that. I think I lost 8K in one trade. And that was for moving stop losses. That was moving stop losses. Yeah, and that was the majority of what was in that account. I put 10 lot size on gold once when I was driving. Oh, yeah, that wasn't good either. Well, yeah, there's plenty of them. You make stupid fucking lessons, but this is something in this. Like, people will listen to myself, Jason, listen to your peers. Oh my God. I mean, that goes probably, Jason, that's probably one of to your answer. Your other question was, one of your biggest light bulb moments was actually listening to my peers, listening like in any job, in any situation, surround yourself with people that are where you want to be. Speak to people that are where you want to be. I have got all the time in the world for helping people. I've been doing this for 6 years. I know Jason's been doing education as well for 6 years. I have all the time in the world to pass knowledge on. I can't express that enough. Like I truly enjoy it. And what got me places was speaking to people that were where I wanted to be. And the funny thing was I never used to listen to them at first. Like people would tell me all of these things, about like, I can't even think right now, but like all these little all these little tips and things that I would not listen to because you've just got that ego. You've just got that ego where you think like better. I've got this, but again, kind of part of the feeling out process. Yes, totally understand that people have to do these things, but like realistically, I had to go full circle, and it was a big, long fucking circle over a couple of years before I started realizing that everything that people had said to me that were successful traders was true. I've been lucky enough to speak to some of the best traders in the world, Tom Hugard, John Dollery, some really, really big names in the space. And I've been able to speak one-on-one to them and get advice. And those have been such valuable things for me, and these people don't have to be massive names in the space. These people can just be people that are making consistent money. I want to be where that person is. What changed things for you? What happened? The biggest thing that I will tell everyone is mindset. Concentrate on that. Concentrate on that. And it's never an overnight thing. Like you're going to have to, like, you can't just flick a switch and suddenly I've got patience. We started all of these traits, your patience, your greed, confidence, all of these things are what's been built into you over life, to get into whatever age you're at now. I'm 39. I started becoming more successful when I was 33. And so I had a lot of life before me. We don't like standing in queues. We don't like waiting around for things. Like we want money for things now. We want to get paid now. We want this now. We want that now. and we want more of it, you know? So yeah, it's learning to manage these things over sort of time, and that comes from sort of actually starting to see a little bit of success as well, and actually starting to actually like listen to your peers, listen to the things, and actually like sticking to a trading plan like religiously, no matter what, no matter if nobody's looking over your shoulder, no matter like it doesn't like because trading can realistically be a very lonely world because it's only you and your phone that's putting the trades on. Sometimes that little thing, because all trading is just a split second decision. You start working on those split second decisions. Start stepping between yourself and that split second decision, because it's only a split second decision to put that trade on when there hasn't been a signal given, or to move that stop loss, or to move that take profit. It's all a split second decision, and all you have to do is just put yourself in between you and that decision. I mean, that's like a bit of an answer to your question there, Jason. How do you improve mindset? That's a good place to start, because I thought about it for so long and how to like get it across to people, and how do I put it into words? But realistically, it's all just a second. You start working all to that, and you're not going to do it. Like we say, if you can stick to the trading plan, shown you the trading plan. If you can stick to that religiously, 9 times out of 10, you're already better than 95% of traders out there. Like one thing that really, like I've had lots of things over my trading career that have like stuck and burnt in my brain, and I can see them. One of them was the difference between an amateur trader and a professional trader. An amateur trader will always look at their phone. Did I win? Did I win? Did I lose? Did I win? Whereas a professional trader, someone that's consistent and knows what they're doing and follows a trading plan, all they care about is, did I follow my trading plan? It's not did I win or lose, it's did I follow my trading plan? Because that's the important question. Doesn't matter. Like if it doesn't matter if you win or lose, if you follow your trading plan, it doesn't matter. That was a big eureka moment for me. Like seeing that, I can still see it. I don't know where I saw it, Instagram, whatever, but it was a long time ago. And I saw those words, amateur trader, did I win? Professional trader, did I follow my trading plan? And that just resonated with me. And all that is just sticking to the trades we give, you know, like only entering within that range, putting your stop loss where you're told to, putting your top take profits at the points where you're told to. And also, in the gold standards, as soon as you're up into take profit one, take profit two, moving that stop loss up to break even, no matter what. What does that do? Protect your capital. What's rule number one? Protect your capital. And that's what that does. You move that stop loss up to break even or just above, whatever, you're protecting your capital. Yes, of course, price can come back down and take you out. Who gives a fuck? Wait for the next one. Trades aren't going to stop. Like, I've watched the charts for 10 years and they've never stopped. And you can go back and look, they go all the way back to the 70s. Like, they're not going to stop. I've been in trades where I've won, but I've actually lost because I broke my own rules. Yeah, exactly. It's so rule based. It's nuts. So many people come into trading and they see this world of money that's just constantly moving, and they think like the messages that I get from people, and I know other people get, and they're like, what is this thing? Like, this is insane. I can't believe this is here. And it really opens your eyes as to what is possible out there, and what you can do. But realistically, you have to put the work in. You can't like there's no gamblers or anyone like that people that are just putting on huge stop losses, huge lot sizes, way bigger than their accounts. But these people aren't successful. They will never be successful. Like, they might have short-term wins, short-term big wins, but they're gonna have fucking great losses as well. And they're not going to get anywhere. I promise you that. I promise you that. Now, one thing I want to make clear is you're not alone in how you feel. I'm sure that we've got a lot of people jump on this call now, and I'm sure people have good weeks, people have bad weeks, people have good days, people have bad days. Like, I totally understand that, and I totally understand that when you have not become numb to that emotion, it's hard, it's tough. It's all you can think about at the end of the day when there's no more trades. Do I put another trade on to try and make back what I lost? Do I wake up in the mornings and take a trade before even a trade signal's come through? You know, do I close a winning trade early? Do I move a stop loss? Do I move a take profit? Do I take a trade that's not even there? Do I increase my risk after I've lost a trade? Over leveraging. I know everyone on this call has been there. Every single person. And it's all part of a process. And if you've felt any of those four things or done any of those things, congratulations, you're completely fucking normal. Because it is part of it. And one of the things from this lesson I want to get across to people is self-awareness. So we're going to have a bit of homework at the end of this, which is just going to be a little bit about looking into yourself and actually thinking about what your kind of weaknesses are. We'll get to that at the end anyway, but it's all perfectly normal. These are all completely normal traits. It's just about self-awareness. Like, you wouldn't believe how much trading changed my fucking life. Nothing to do with money. Nothing to do with money. Like, when we say it's a journey, it's a journey. Like, there's this byproduct that happens with trading, and this like may sound really deep. Like, if you're very, very new, you might be like, what the fuck is he on about? But to start working on things like patience, greed, confidence, you have to really work on yourself. You have to start taking those things and start changing them outside of trading. I had to find the ability to stand in a queue and make it not bother me. I got two young children, and when I had my first, she's 5 now, but obviously I can remember it quite clearly. Obviously, when she was a baby, and I was, quite into my times of like trying to work on myself and actually trying to work on that patience. Getting up in the middle of the night in those witching hours where I've got, where she's crying and where everything in your mind is going completely mental, and I'm just trying to trying to put a cage over that. I'm trying to not react. I'm doing all these things I can outside of trading to improve myself. Every time something goes off in my head about something that would normally frustrate me, I used to use analogies of like the building trade, because that's what I've known for a long time. But when you're running a business and you're trying to invoice a client and they're not paying on time, and just being able to just sort of like, obviously, yes, that is a problem, but you need to be able to sort of deal with it. If you're somebody that like gets angry at an apprentice, loses your temper all the time, gets very, very frustrated. If you put some money into a gambling machine and you lose and you kick the shit out of the machine, that you need to work on. If an apprentice fucks something up, after you've told him 3 times, and your normal instinct would be to completely lose your head and scream and shout at him, you don't. You take that second and you stop. And believe me, all of these things start slowly tying together to stop those split-second decisions. And it changed me so much. And I've seen it happen with so many people. This byproduct of just helping people in their everyday life. Like, you will start eating better. You'll start, like I used to tell people, like, part of your trading plan, if you want to look at a personal trading plan, is when you wake up in the morning, if I've had a bad night's sleep, I wouldn't trade. Or I would, so that's part of a journey as well. Say, if I was sick, if I hadn't slept well because maybe my daughter was up all night, or I was frustrated, I had worries at work or something like that, I would try and stop myself from trading because it never went well, because I wasn't in control of my emotions. So just that practice in itself starts to build something that is going to turn you in the right direction. Just being able to sort of make that decision, because it's only you and the computer. It's only you and your phone. It's quite easy to say, oh yeah, I did sleep like shit last night, but you know what made me feel better? Putting some fucking trades on. And then before you know it, all those heightened emotions, that tiredness, that adrenaline, that cortisol pumping through your body. And before you know it, things have gone from bad to worse, because you're over leveraging, over risking, over trading, all of it. So yeah, there is this incredible byproduct that comes from trading. So it just, yeah, it's a powerful, powerful thing. I started eating better because I knew it would make me feel better. I knew I'd be the best person I possibly could be to be in front of the charts and be dialed in and to be able to react well. You know, like I used to always use the term that, worked with lots of tradies in construction and people. If you're drinking like four Monster energy drinks or four Red Bulls a day or fucking 8 cups of coffee, trading ain't going to be fun for you. Not that it should be fun anyway, but that's not good. Like you're pumping caffeine into your body, pumping adrenaline, pumping cortisol. Your reactions and your ability to control emotions are not going to be good. Whereas if you have if you have a balanced protein fed diet, like you're just going to feel better. You're going to be able to react better. Sorry about the coughing. I think you have that one loss. I've been in trades where I've won, but yeah, I think you have that one loss that burns so bad you have to quit or begin the deep work on yourself. Yeah, 100%. 100%. You have that big. I've been there quite a few times. Like I said, my first few years trading, it was all on YouTube. I lost a lot of money because I didn't know what I was doing. I literally had no clue. I had nobody to speak to, had nobody to answer questions, and I would put it down for months at a time. I would always have this burning thing in the back of my head that I was going to pick it back up. Again, like I was paying thousands of pounds for courses, which were basically just PDF files. I was learning just trend lines and just crap, just utter crap that I look back at it. But realistically, I threw a lot of money at it back then. Realistically, that is money I invested in myself because I've earned that money 10 times over and I've built a skill for life. But yeah, you will have that one loss that makes you think I'm never going to do that again. But unfortunately, you probably will. Maybe not as bad, but you probably will. It's about working on yourself to make that thing not happen as much until it's gone. I always say to people that come on and they have no idea what's going on. Everything looks like hieroglyphics. They say, I'm never going to get this. Like it's like I just feel like it's too complicated. It involves money. People dial in. I used to say before when we were looking at just education, 6 months in, I'd be like, and they would get to a stage where like, oh, I don't know what I'm like. I feel like I'm just sort of, I'm forgetting everything. I'm not applying myself right. I'll be like, look how far you've come. Look at all the things. Look at how you talk to me about what's going on the charts. Like how far you've come in 6 months is insane. It's crazy. Um, it made me organize so much more. Even my van at 10 p.m. because I know tomorrow will be exactly preparation, 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 preparation. Be the best possible person you can be to be trading. Like, oh God, like simple things. If you've had an argument with your partner, if you've had someone piss you off at work, if you are raging, do not go to trading to try and make you feel better. And if you look at it from a scientific point of view, all it is dopamine being pumped in your body. Like I made up this sort of saying, which is like discipline over dopamine, because we are such dopamine obsessed humans where we're just looking for the next fix constantly. If something, people scrolling on Instagram and TikToks and things like that, where our attention spans have gone down so much, and everyone's just looking for the next high. Whether it's like alcohol, smoking, drugs, fucking anything, we're looking for the next dopamine hit. Dopamine has no place in trading, like absolutely none. Like if you're in that place where kids have been pissing you off, you've had an argument or whatever, don't be going to the charts looking for it to make you feel better, because it will just make you feel fucking worse. Like it really, really will. I think most have pretty low capital, but when they hit 5 to 10% in one day, which is insane, but it's still very minimal in regards to profit. What would you tell these people that can consistently stay on the path and have the ability to grow their accounts over time? Yeah, 100%. So percentages are funny things. Like, 10% of a £400 account is 40 quid. And you don't really think much about 40 quid. You think, oh yeah, that's all right. But realistically, that's fucking 10%. You've made 10%. That's insane growth. And I'm telling you that as a 10-year trader, like 10% is mental. Now it starts like everyone's going to have a different threshold here. So now if you go up to now £4,000, so £400 account, build that up to a £4,000 account, that's now £400, 10%. And you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, actually 10% sounds quite nice. 10% a day, like 10% a day. That's insane. It's nuts. I aim for 1 to 2% a week. No, 1 to 5%, 1 to 3, 2, 3, 4% a week. You know, it depends on the size of your account. You look at now, if you have 100K, a six-figure account that you've built your way up to, what's 10% of that? 10 grand. Are you making 10 grand a day, are you? Of a 100K account? Mental. So at some point, you've got to understand, at some point, you're going to bridge over something, and your how you feel about risk is going to change. So at the moment, you think about it. If you're aiming for 10% and you're risking 5%, 5% should be your absolute maximum. You should be risking on a self-funded account is 5% on any trade maximum. You do not need to go. You do not need to go higher than 5% ever. Like realistically, like if we go back to our six-figure example, 100K account, you're going to be risking 5 grand, are you? No, no. Like on a 100K account, you're probably going to maximum risk 1%, maximum, which is £1,000. I don't really care who you are. If you've built that account up from nothing, that's still going to be making you twitch big time. And you're looking to make 2,000, 3,000, whatever on a trade. Realistically, you're probably going to go down to 0.5%, £500. But you take that down, you scale that back down now to £1,000. £1,000 account. Realistically, 50 quid, even to me, it does sound like a lot on £1,000 account to be risking. That's 5%. You shouldn't be risking more than 5% ever. And that is on the top end. Realistically, 2, 3, 4% max. People don't understand the power of compounding. I have people that say to me, they'll come in, they'll start trading. They do well with it because they're sticking to the rules. People tend to do well. This is where I'm going to go on to, actually. This is a good little segue. We're just going to have a little look at the journey of a trader. So I have people come in, and I'm very much big on like telling them how much you should be risking, and how the most important thing is to stick to the rules. Stick to the rules, stick to the rules, stick to the rules, stick to the rules. And people do it when you come in, you first start, because basically you're scared. You're scared to do anything else. Excuse me. You're scared to do anything else. But then what happens? People start getting confident. People start thinking they're a pro trader because they've made a bit of money by sticking to the fucking trading plan. And now they start doing other things that aren't part of the trading plan. So, people don't realize the power of compounding. The power, like I get this question asked a lot. Like people obviously they start, you fund your broker account, you start trading, people stick to the rules, great. People see the potential in it, great. And I'm always that naysayer. I always feel like I'm really negative because I always say to people, like, look, like people can be buzzing at the end of the week and they've had an incredible week, great profit, whatever. And I'm always like, yeah, that's cool, but make sure you lock in on Monday. Don't get too excited. You've got to make sure you stick to your rules, stick to it. But people don't. Not everyone, but some people don't. They'll find a way where they'll come out of it at the end of the week and go into a Friday and end up having a really bad day because they've got overconfident. Or you get people that will start saying, oh, like, right, I put £400 in my account and I've started trading that and I've made, I've doubled it over a week or two or whatever, which is insane growth. But anyway, and then start saying, oh, what about if I put 10 grand in? I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that. Like realistically, it's going to be much better for you to build up an account in multiple different ways. One is obviously just progress, being able to get there, being able to get to that size of account and then stay disciplined. I don't want to see people lose money. I want to see people make money. It's a very, very fulfilling job to see people make money and to help them on those on that journey and to get the messages saying that they've earned 2 weeks worth of wages or whatever in a few days. And what is this thing? This is insane. Blah 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 blah. And the amount of people that I've coached into doing very, very well. I mean, I don't know what that number is, to be honest, but it's a very, very fulfilling job. And I don't want to see people put load of, because it's obviously very easy to think this little thing. Wow, I'm going to quit my job. See how many people have done this. This is what I'm talking about. You're disciplined at first. People tend to be very disciplined because they're nervous. Don't want to put a step wrong. Don't want to mess around with the charts. And they do well. People do tend to do well. But then things start kicking in. The classic I hear all the time is, I just thought I'd have a little play. Who said that before? Who said that before? Lots of people. It's that, I'm just gonna have a little play. I'm just gonna have a little. It looks like it's gonna go down. I'm gonna put a sell on. Cool. Nobody told you to put a sell on. Okay, cool. Well, that one hit a stop loss. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna go the other way now. I'm gonna put a buy on. Okay, cool. But, no stop loss. End up bombing the account. It's not the way you're going to get anywhere. I swear to God. And that is that ouch drawdown. It's like this again. This varies massively for everyone. This doesn't happen to everyone. I've got so many people have such different paths, but this is the one I want to concentrate on because these are the people that need to lock in more than anyone else. You do have people that will just be sort of up and down in this area. Bit of learning, bit of journaling, writing down their results, writing down their sort of strengths, weaknesses. Like I've had people that have started journaling just from day one, just because that's the sort of person they are. Fantastic. Fantastic. And I got people that do the polar opposite. They wouldn't fucking write something down if I had a gun to their head, And you don't understand how powerful that is, writing stuff down, just journaling a bit. But yeah, so then we have this area, this sort of frustration, doubt, small wins, but it's not enough. And then things start coming back again, you start pushing up, you start having some big wins, probably because you're over risking, over leveraging, all these sort of things. Market's doing what you want it to do market's doing what you want it to do. Bit of luck thrown in there for good measure. And this starts happening. I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to quit my job. That's it. Fuck it. I'm going to be a professional trader. And then this. What have I done? Big lesson learned. A big costly lesson. But then this is where we want to get to. We want to get to this mountain that seems like a mountain to climb. When basically, don't forget, a lot of the trading plan side of things is done. Like that's there. Work on yourself. Fixing psychology. Mindset becomes the priority. Applying risk management, which we're going to go over in a couple of weeks. Following the signals, following the trades, patience, discipline, execution, rinse and repeat over and over and over again until it's mindlessly boring. And you're going to start getting towards consistent profits. Slow, consistent profits is the name of this game. Like it's not a get rich quick scheme. Like if you're over here gambling with no stop loss, you're not going to do well. I guarantee it. There's not much you can guarantee in this world. You might have some big wins, but you have some fucking bigger losses. Trust me. And the potential that this has, it sounds so cheesy, but it will change your fucking life. It literally has the potential to completely change your life if you lock in. And don't get me wrong, like I know, I got like Jason's over here teaching people supply and demand, and I'm happy to teach people other things and stuff like that. Like this can be just a gateway into other things. There's a whole long journey there of learning to trade by yourself, and to that comes with its whole other world of psychology. That's learning into getting into learning to trust your own analysis, confidence in that area. It's a big world, a big fucking world. And that's a journey in itself. That's years. It's already there. The trades come through. It's just about sticking to it and applying yourself. And just starting to sort of go over these things that we're talking about now. Going from an emotional beginner to a disciplined trader, copy trader, whatever. I don't really care. Just disciplined. Just be disciplined. So yeah, that obviously covers a bit about understanding and sort of managing expectations. This isn't like, I always say to people as well, like I've had people that have come to me, they're not sure about what we do within the group. They haven't even understood that it's like copy trading. They think it's investing or whatever. And I'm like, no, 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 it's this. And they're like, okay, cool. And I'll say that, it's just 250 quid to open an account, like if you want, blah, blah, blah. And they'll say something like, oh, okay, that's cool. I probably haven't got that money this week, but I might have it next week. And I'm like, look, if it's going to be if it's your last 250 quid, don't do it. Like literally don't do it. You will have so much. If you're trying to make that now and trying to double that so that you can eat or do these things, it's not going to work. It should be some disposable income that you have. If you have a bit of money sat there, you're thinking about learning a new skill, this is right for you. I think it's a fantastic thing that everyone should give a go to. I think 80 to 90% of people can do it if they apply themselves. I think there's a few character traits in human beings of people that cannot do it, and the one that always comes to mind for me is narcissism. Like I feel like you probably don't know you're a raging narcissist, but if someone is a narcissist, they will not blame themselves. They have a very high self-worth and they will not blame themselves. They'll blame the system. They will blame anything else and not look inside and not look deep inside. I came to this conclusion a long time ago that is one of the traits, a narcissistic trait in a human being, I don't believe can trade, because they will not look at themselves. And it's the most important thing that you have to do is look at yourself. I'm glad I got absolutely smoked so early. I've taken every loss since at SL. Fantastic. I got away with a few consecutively and thought I was clever. Yeah. And I was not clever. Exactly. Like taking some solace in like some damage that you've taken before, remembering that pain. That was a really difficult one for me. I feel like I became quite numb to stuff quite early on, and I got quite used to failing. And so I started not really learning from my mistakes so much. So then it was sort of a bit of a transition for me where I started actually becoming on the journey to consistency. And then I started applying all these things that I wanted to do over time, and I started seeing the good side of it. I started seeing the money. I started seeing the consistency, and this being consistently profitable and taking money from the market every single week, and that was a huge turning point for me. Like it didn't seem to be just learning from my fucking losses all the time. I started learning from my wins and actually like, hang on a minute, I'm applying myself. I'm being patient. I'm waiting for the trade to come to me. I'm not taking trades that don't exist just in the hope of making a bit of money back, because it's always gonna get you worse. So yeah, protect capital. Yeah, make money second. I went over the sort of treating trading like a business is a really good piece of advice. I imagine there is a lot of business owners in here, and you would never go risking all your capital on a single job. Traders fail because main 5 things: they risk too much, they overtrade, they let emotions control decisions, they chase profits, they panic during a lockdown, drawdown. Markets are those 5 things I just mentioned. The markets are designed to play on these. How many times do you see a trade and how trades are taken in the gold standard, where the trade is normally taken off a push? You get a push in one direction. This is manipulation. And what that manipulation is getting 80% of retail traders to jump into the market in that direction. How often do you see our traders putting on a trade in the opposite direction? You want to be the minority. That's how so many people do very well in trading. Like, you see something, think about how well the market plays on emotion. Think about those times when you've been watching the market accumulate, just going boom, 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 knocking between 2 trend lines, 2 support and resistance lines all day. What do you think that's doing? that's just causing frustration. It's causing frustration for you to set an alarm, to set an alarm. As soon as one of those is broken, buy, 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 buy. Market turns around, goes the other way. You know, and I see most of the trades that are taken gold standard for sure are on these pushes, but in the opposite direction. Because we're waiting for the people to be taken out, right? We're waiting for all those people to take out. Then we're taking our opportunity to go in the right direction, to then be entered into the trade and get out of the market quick. Moving stop losses up to break even, when we're hitting TP1, TP2, protecting capital. Boom. Do it over and over and over and over and over again. Make it so boring. So boring. So yeah, right. I touched on this in Jason's group with a message this week, which is about ignoring your daily profit and loss. How many people get so wound up if they have a losing day? And that really affects how they go into the next day, affects how they go into the next week. Oh, hardest thing I've ever tried to follow was going to say master, but that's wrong. I feel learning to follow correctly is an art. That is amazing. Yeah, it is. It literally is. And whether you're following this or you would be following your own trading system, I feel like following your own trading system is a lot harder because you've written it and you can have doubt. Whereas this, we have world-class traders that give these trades, and that takes that out of it for you. If you just give full trust into it, this is why I have sometimes you have people with trading backgrounds and they come in and they start trying to follow. I had this as well when I started looking at the trades that were coming through because of my own biases, because of liquidity or whatever that was stored on the charts. I would look at a trade and think, why is he putting that on there? Why is he putting a buy on there? Why is he putting a sell on there? And it would still go in the right direction that they've been called. I'm like, okay, fair enough. And, I found it hard for myself to jump into. I had to get over. Sorry. I had to get over that in my head because I don't from the years I've been trading. I do trade gold. I trade the trades that come through in the group because I've learned to trust them. I used to try trading gold in much longer forms, 1 hours and 4 hours, like I do with other things, but it just doesn't work for me at all. And scalping personally, I believe, is the only way to properly trade gold. But yeah, to be able to just absorb into it and just follow it 100%, that's what, if you've got a trading background, that's a demon you have to get over. Once you're completely fresh to it, a demon you have to get over is like, oh, it's not quite in the range, but I'm still going to enter anyway. No, we need to work on that. We need to work on that. We need to get that. We need to get you just entering in the range, and layering in a couple of positions, and then looking at, keeping that stop loss in the same place, not reacting after a trade. But going back to ignoring daily P&L, the amount of people that I see that will have a bad day, and then that affects the rest of their week. That affects the next day. Nobody, even though it's called day trading, nobody should be thinking about what they've made in a single day or lost in a single day. Just forget about it. The bare minimum you should be looking at is a week, is what you've made that week. And then realistically, when I say bare minimum, that is the bare minimum. You could have 2 losing weeks in a month and still have a profitable month. I look at my monthly income, and over the years, I've looked at my yearly. I've had years where I've had multiple losing months and I've still been way up at the end of the year. And when you think about it in that concept, how insignificant is a day's money, a day's loss? Please, please, please ignore your daily profit and loss. You're going to have losing days. You're going to have losing weeks. You're going to have losing months. But if you stick to the system, and trust the process, you will see the winning weeks and the winning months massively overshadow everything else. I was 550 down Friday morning by 7:30 a.m. I'd usually carry on and I would call it back, but after the week we've had on the charts, I chose to step away and take the loss for the day. I was still massively up the week. Exactly what I'm on about, Geoff. Literally. You can have a big loss like that. I remember speaking to someone that was very quite new to it. I think it was he did fantastically well. I used him as an example for quite a while. He put £400 in his account. Basically, that was on a Wednesday. By the following Friday, he was in a position where he had taken out his original 400 and he had £1,350 of risk-free profit in his account. I think the next week after that, again, got to that have a little play sort of area. Got into that bit the next week, and he was up like 1,200 for the week or something like that. Friday or the Thursday or something. I think it was the Friday. Anyway, had a fucking huge loss because he was basically over leveraging massively and took a huge loss, and he lost half of his account. Not his account, so he lost half of the profit he had made that week. So his profit for that week went from 1,200 down to I think it was 650, something like that. And he messaged me saying I took a huge loss today. I was like, oh fuck, mate, what happened? He's like, I lost 600 quid. I was like, shit. I was like, what's your week looking like? He's like, oh, I'm up 650. I was like, fuck, man, you're up 650. And he's like, yeah, but it could have been 12. I'm like, listen to yourself. He has quite a decent paying job. And that was about half of his week's wages. I'm like, you made 650. Concentrate on that. I'm like, that's something that blows my mind. And I get it. I totally get it. I've been there. Like, it doesn't seem like enough. I could have been up this much, blah, 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 blah. But you just made 650, made 650 quid this week. That's a win. Like, you have a profitable week for the record book. Done. Boom. On to the next week. You know? It's like you get emotion from either. If you have a winning day, you'll be overconfident the next day. If you have a losing day, you're going into the next day with frustration. So realistically, fuck the daily because it doesn't matter. Your daily P&L does not matter. I'm telling you that right now. It does not matter in the grand scheme of things. Is there any questions? I know we've been sort of doing questions as we've been going, but if anyone's got any questions, we'll do just a little bit. I know people have been asking questions anyway, but if anyone's got anything, because then I will just go over some homework for the week, and then we'll look towards next Sunday. Excuse me, I've had this cough like 10 days now. It won't go away. Let's go back to this homework. Someone's been playing on ChatGPT, haven't they? Right. So I would like. Sorry, I've completely just got rid of the chat screen. I don't think there was anything there. I would like everyone to do this, please. It's not hard. Oh yeah, Jason asked if there's any books I recommend. Yes, I'll give you five in an order. First one is Trading in the Zone. Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas is the GOAT, basically. It's dated. It's quite old. I think it was written in the mid-90s or something like that. Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. Yeah, I've read it 4 times. It's dated, but the concepts are still very, very like you'll read it. If you've never read anything about trading psychology or anything like that, you'll read it and you'll think, holy fuck, like they're literally like he's talking about me, even though the book is like 30 years old, I think it is. So that is an absolute must. That's where I'd start in order. Second book is The Bulletproof Trader. I've completely forgotten the name of the author. Is it Stephen? No, the Bulletproof Trader, anyway. Fantastic all-round book on psychology. Next one is Tom Hugard's book, Best Loser Wins. The first couple of chapters of that, you will literally think that they are talking to you personally. Great book. Tom Hugard is one of the most successful traders on the planet. He trades colossal amounts of money and he has zero emotion to it. And he fully admits that he's still an emotional person. He doesn't shut off to emotion within life and everything else. He can just shut off when it comes to trading. He has huge losses, absolutely huge losses. but he absolutely destroys those with his wins. Like incredible, incredible trader. I've been lucky enough to talk to him. He's a fantastic person. Yeah, really, really cool guy. Number four, there's actually a couple of part series on YouTube of him doing a speech in London at I think it was no, it might have been Germany or Berlin or something. Can't remember. But it's like a couple of part series, and it's like him up on stage talking. Fantastic. It's on YouTube. It's very, very good. Tom Hugard. Number four would be the chimp paradox. That's not directly about trading, but it talks about the different areas in our brain, and it talks about the chimp bit of our brain. The chimp bit of our brain is the instinct driven, the one that causes you to make that split second decision. It's a fantastic book because you can actually start breaking down the different parts of the brain, and it's just written so well. It's a great psychology book. That's my number one book that isn't directly about trading, and it's fantastic. There's also a book called The Psychology of Money. Very, very good book. Just starts kind of like de-brainwashing you a little bit about the sort of things that we've been brought up to think about money. Again, very good book. I do have a list of a lot more as well. I can put some more into a list as well for next week anyway. But if we can do this week, guys, I'd really, really appreciate it. Just write down these four things. That's all I want you to do. And if even better, extra points, do it every day. Every day when you get up. I used to be a sod. So this is one when I was talking about listening to your peers and people that have been there and done it. One of the ones that people used to say to me was journal. Journal everything. Journal your trades, journal how you feel, journal what the fucking weather's doing outside. Because you won't believe me, but what's the one before the last? The chimp paradox. Chimp, as in the monkey, chimp paradox, and then the psychology of money. You won't believe me, but whether the fucking sun is shining or whether it's pissing down will affect your fucking trading. I used to, in my trading journal, write drew a little picture of a sun or a rain cloud, depending on what it was doing, and like anything in between. And like if I go back and look through data, I had better days when it was sunny. Like it just, we would be so stupid not to think that this thing in the sky that's given all of us and everything on this planet life does not affect how we would do something in a day. So just things like that. Just my peers used to tell me journaling. It changed their world, changed everything. And I just didn't do it. I did not fucking do it for so long. And I kicked myself about it because I took myself to doing it for about 18 months solid. I don't do it anymore. Full disclosure, I just don't. And I did for 18 months solid. I wrote down everything. I wrote down every trade. I've got books of it. And it helped me so much. And I'm not just talking about win, lose, how many pips gained, blah, 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 blah. I'm talking about things like the weather. I'm talking about, did I trade when I was angry? Did I trade, when I was sick? Did I trade, how was I feeling? I was having a good day. Oh, I closed that one early because I was frustrated. Or I revenge traded that one, blah, 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 blah. And you start building up this data, fascinating data about yourself. So, but this comes under the journaling bit, but this is a really great place to start. What is your reason for trading? Try and make that clear every single day. Like if you're here just to gamble some money, it's not really a good place to be, is it? You might as well just go to a casino. You might as well just put some money into an online casino. Doesn't really matter. You're going to have exactly the same result. What is your reason? Are you doing this for, to sort of help, to be able to get, drop your hours in work, to be able to move abroad, just to be able to get a bit of extra cash so I don't have to worry about money every single fucking week? Is that, what is your reason? What is your reason? You can write down a different reason every day if you want. I don't really mind, but just write down a reason before, as soon as you get up. This is like bored. This is like getting onto the manifestation stuff, which is insanely powerful. I owe so much of what I'm doing nowadays to manifestation. Less fucking overtime, yeah, for sure. Where do you want to be in 1 year from now? Define a goal. It's so important in trading, is defining a goal, because every week can just seem to blur into one another. Where do you want to be? Where do you see yourself in a week? I used to tell myself where I wanted to be. I know Jason used to do it as well. Manifesting. Where do I want to be? Where do I want to be in a year's time? Do I want to be part-time? Do I want to be doing this full-time? Do I just not want to have to fucking think about money every time I leave the fucking house? Where do you want to be? Set high goals if you want. I don't care. Just think a year away. Think a year away. And you know, you start writing down these affirmations every single day. Change your fucking life. Um, Number three, really big one. This is going into the self-awareness because next week we're going to start talking about emotions and what we can do to control them. You know, and it's self-awareness is where I'm going to start with that. Self-awareness. Am I impatient? Am I fucking ridiculously greedy? Am I nervous? Do I have a lot of fear? Is FOMO, fear of missing out, my biggest problem? Is overconfidence my biggest problem? Is it over leveraging? Is it over trading? You know, I've given you a ton there. Just pick a few. Pick your worst one. Or throughout the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, pick your worst one on Monday. Pick the other one that pisses you off on Tuesday. Pick the one that you sort of do all right with on Wednesday. Write them down, journal them. And then number four, are we ready to lock in? Are you ready to actually commit to this? Because you may have come into this thinking that this is just a kind of like, I don't really know. I'm hoping to make some money quick. You know, and I speak to people daily and they're like, I really want to make a go of this. And, you know, I've fucking all the time in the world for those people. I will do anything I can to help you, you know, because there was people that were there for me when I was in that exact same position. And I think it's such a powerful thing to be able to give back. So yeah, if you could do those things for me, guys, I would really, really appreciate it. You know, we're not going to go, I might get some, I might get a few of you to read some out next week, but no pressure. I'm not going to jump on anyone if they don't want to, or we can just put some stuff in the chat. But I'm not going to linger on it too long. It's realistically, it's for you. It is for you. You know, just start putting these things down on paper. Start realizing. Start taking it seriously. And yeah, I think over the next 4 weeks we can make some real progress. So yeah, I really appreciate every single one of you jumping on. I hope that's helped. You're welcome, guys. You're welcome. So yeah, no, it's cool. It's great. It's great to see people buzzing about it. It's great to see. I feel like there's a real buzz about trading nowadays. And yeah, I'm just happy to be a part of people's journey. So appreciate it, guys. We'll see you next Sunday, 8 p.m. Have a fantastic week. Keep things locked. Any questions, give me a shout. Take care, guys.